All right, this is a quick video. I haven't posted anything in a while, but working on a project here, and project is off to the right, but we'll kind of focus on all the tools I've been using. So definitely pulled out the adjustable tray. I like it because it has the crank on it. So I actually got a new Husky kneeling mat. The other one I used when I was doing the tiling job, so it's pretty nasty. So I'll keep that one for outdoors, and this for the garage. Wish I had some of the blue absorbent towels, but paper towel will work. So went through a roll, grabbed a new one, and then went through some type of towel, so grabbed a new one. I like this tray down here because it's convenient. I gotta take out the trash tonight because some of that stuff is soaked with gasoline. So I'll take it out, throw it in the trash. But yeah, I do like the storage space down there. And all in all, it just rolls around. So wherever I go, it kind of goes with me. So that's a good place. I've used this before, and I've thrown rotors down there. Obviously, I wouldn't want to throw them in there because then I'll dent that stuff. As far as this project that I'm working on, I'm trying to stay organized as far as the tools, because the tools that take it apart should put it back together. Got my this little gearing set, and most of this stuff, I'll be honest, I'll try to mention what I haven't used and what I've used. Did a video on this cart before, and this was purchased used. I think I paid $400 for it, which is kind of crazy. The drawer kind of sticks, and that's because it has a little dent on the bottom, but that's beside the point. You can see where it has a little damage right here. So I gotta get this out for it to, because it's hanging up right here. Unfortunately, it's just like tack welded or something, so it's not a great way to remove it. I'm just gonna have to figure out a way to pop that out, but should be easy. Just hasn't gotten on the priority list yet. So this gearing set I picked up from Home Depot, like maybe, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago or something. Yeah, 3 years ago actually. For like, I think it was like $40. Regular, they're like $60. So look out for this. It has this long ratchet in there. It has probably like a 6-inch extension, some sockets. I think these are Metrican SAE. So this is a 13, and this might be, yeah, 9/16. So metric SAE. And you have this little bit set right here. Oops. I'm actually using one right now. I used to remove a band clamp, so this is great. And because I'm going to use it to reinstall, it will come in handy. In one case, I had to lock it in place, but it's nice to have the flex set in. The smaller one worked way better. I got a mirage of sockets right here. Nothing special based on what I'm working on. I needed 22 millimeter for a crank. I needed a 19 for the wheel, and I just grabbed a shallow. I guess I could have grabbed a deep for that. I needed a 14 for some additional bolts, and this is just a mix of stuff. This is a Steelman. This is a gray pneumatic. You can see that it's kind of, yeah, GP. And then pretty sure this is a Tecton. So just a bunch of stuff. Of note, this magnet right here, the previous person that had it installed one of those Harbor Freight strip magnets right here. And honestly, it's one of the smartest things, because now you can just stand up your sockets like that. It's the same magnets that I used to install this thing up here, this holder, Mayhew holder. Yeah, just like I said, a mirage of sockets. I mean, gray pneumatic 1/4 inch. So, and they're all like 10, 12, 14, 19, 8s. Like I said, 3/8 and 1/4, mid-length. Bunch of everyone. Come to find out, and then we had some Evosonics 8 or 10 and 8 adapters, And then we even went down to like a 4mm. This is like a Nico. And then a 5mm for some band clamps. So all these are coming in handy. Then at one point I thought I needed a shallow gray pneumatic, or Astro Nano, sorry. Didn't work for a head bolt I was trying to remove. But nonetheless, I just found out about that they have a 1/4 inch version. So I have the 1/2 inch, the 3/8, and they have a 1/4 inch version of these Nanos. So it's on my shopping list. Grady-Matic 8mm. Again, just a mirage of sockets that I have. This project that I'm using, 17mm. I have a swivel Capri just because, you know, you might need it. Well, I forgot it came in handy initially. Putting stuff back together, I know I'm going to use my torque wrench. And then I'm also learning what I don't have, right? So on my shopping list, I've added, again, that Astro 1/4 inch Nano. I don't think I've added it yet, but I was looking at it. And I also need a torque wrench that goes down to a smaller value. I think I had one torque value that was like 1.2 foot-pounds. And yeah, these, like this one starts at 10, this one starts at 5. Well, I think it's still gonna read, like this one still read like 0, whatever. Like it's still gonna show values from like 0 to 10. And I guess you could just stop at that value. I might just try doing that and stuff, but it'd be nice to have a micro torque wrench. So I know I'm gonna have to put stuff back together, and then these are gonna be my go-to. I don't take my batteries out of my stuff. My torque wrench stay in this little cubby. That's the new home for them. So they stay pretty warm and dry, but I can see why people take the batteries out of them. Just kind of annoying. I'm gonna do some temper stuff just to make sure, like, I can double check myself and make sure I don't have to go back and like second guess. And then some paint marker tape or paint. I know I'll use some Loctite to reassembly, so I'll have some of this. I'm not sure if I need to get some blue, but red is there. If I need it, I should have some blue. Should be on. I'm gonna add Loctite to my shopping list. It's always good to have Loctite of different strengths. You do have the one, you got, this is the liquid, but you also have the stick one. So I might just get the stick and get in all the colors. I've been using mainly hand tools, but it's nice to break something, you know, with a ratchet or break a bar or something, and then, you know, run it off. So this is the original Milwaukee 3/8 ratchet, not long reach or anything. I'm gonna take the battery off this before I get out of here tonight, because I don't like leaving batteries on tools, like power tools. These are fine, but these lithium batteries I tend to take off. 1/4 inch, and that's because I'll probably find the old school 1/4 inch and go with that. But this, I mean, if I need it, I guess I'll have it. Impact driver, 1/4 inch impact driver. I haven't used it yet, but put it on there just to have it. So I brought out these power tools just to have them, because I know I'll probably need them. I used this, what is this? This is a 3/8 to remove the tires of this thing in question. I've been using this light and carry. That's probably because it's one of my only flashlight that's still charged. That's super nice. So I have all 3 of these, and I'll show you this. I mean, if you watch my toolbox tours, you've seen that. This thing has a spark plug, and this is from that Gear-Wrench set, the magnetic one, and it has worked tremendously. The length on this just gets to the point. Swivel, yep. I've used this 3/4 inch Gear-Wrench, 84 tooth bend handle. It's kind of spark plug ratchet, if you will, so you don't bust your knuckles. Almost for everything so far. That has worked. Just a random monster 1/2 inch to use with my this 1/2 inch 22mm to hold a crank. Laser tools. Had to remove that fuel line from the rail. And so those little pinch tabs, you pull up on that tab and then you pinch the tabs and you pop it off. Yeah, this was Laser Tools, like a German brand. Still not certain if this is like a premier brand in Europe, or how this brand is viewed in Europe, but I've picked up quite a few laser tools, and they seem to be rebranded just like everything else. Talked about this already. I actually just grabbed this one out of my my pack out mobile kit, if you will. It's the only Snap-on ratchet that I own. I know people rave about Snap-on ratchets and stuff, but I mean, yeah, I guess, I don't know. And literally I've just bought it on a whim also. This was a while ago, but I haven't really used it to that extent. Like, I'm all about that life. 1/4 inch extension, lock-in extension from Sonex. This is, I don't know how many inches, 14 inch. 1/4 inch. I needed a 3/8 lock-in also. This looks like a Sonex, but it doesn't have any name on it. Interesting. It works. It looks like a Sonex though. Just that collar. And then additionally, 1/4 inch drive, you know, gear wrench. It works. Vessel screw. I thought I was going to strip out a head of a screw. It was pretty tight. This thing has dirt on it, so I just used my Vessel armor grip, and it was just finding a proper size screwdriver for the tip. Like, it's not about JIS or anything in this case. I know people tend to talk about that with Vessel, but removing some springs on an exhaust. I needed a needle nose to pull those springs back. You know, Milwaukee to the show. Reposition some wires, cut some old zip ties, and then cut new ones off flush. Didn't really cut it flush, so I broke a cheap set of flush cutters recently, but I have my Knipex or Knipex in the house, so I still have a good one. And then I had the Harbor Freight thing that I bought. I just brought this out recently, or just earlier. Didn't have to use it much for this project, so I could probably go back into my main box, but I thought I needed the length, but the head was too big for where I was trying to get. With my impact driver here, I just brought these out just to have them as a 3/8 and a 1/4 inch, just to run stuff in and out. Haven't used it yet, like I said, and that's the thing. I don't want to. I'm not loading this thing up with just tools just because I think I might need it. In fact, like I said, I have not used these. I have not used these yet, and I've used the ratchets. I've used the 3/8 ratchets. I haven't used a 1/4 inch. I haven't used that, so it can go. And this can go. Hose clamp, you know, use this. I probably just grab, actually, for the reinstall, I'll probably just grab the bent one, maybe. I don't know, should fit. This has been the most used tool. I can see why everyone wants a pocket pry bar or trim tool. I know they have the pry bar version of this, and I do have those, but this is a straight and a small, and it's magnetic. So, a radiator. So any type of coolant lines or anything. So this one came in handy based on the angle I had to reach at, and obviously I'm not going to punch a hole in there, so that's why I have it. So it's good to have them. Never used it before. And then there's one that I had to pull up on where the hose was facing down, and I had to pull up, so this one came in handy. So it's good to have tools. Had a tap to remove a component, and this little Tecton hammer came in handy. I don't need much. And then secondary to this little tool is this, like using it to pry. So as far as tools that I haven't used and that I got some use out of today, haven't used it much, but I got some use out of it. I've pretty much used all these sockets. These have used a spark plug, I think, once. These. Trying to see. This first time using this. First time using my trim clip tools. First time putting this into application. And this actually, I guess it contours, like it bends, like you can. I know Vim, Matco, or someone has these now. So I guess most of these have been used at some point in time. I think it's the first time I've used these Vessel. Oh, and then, you know, people always say T-handles are for motorcycle. Obviously, Klein is more electrical, but yeah, in one case, the T-handle, like in this position, was the way to get it, and then straight on was the way to get those like little band clamps off. So that's the cart. Like I said, I'm using it to go along, get stuff done. I don't need a lot of wheels because, I mean, well, it's not rolling away, so. All right, notable mentions. Let's see, notable mentions. So, picked up 2 tools recently. Call that a tool tour, call this a tool haul, if you will. Saw the guy selling this, and he was asking $200. That's this guy's, and it's the CT861 Black, and he was asking $200. Interesting. Why aren't you spinning? Okay, for some reason I was looking right here and not looking right there, so it was spinning. Seems very, my first impression, it seems very underpowered. Could this guy have bamboozled me and selling me something that's not working? Because I was wondering, his comment said that he bought it recently. Well, it's also on 1. But between, I know I tried it when I first got it, between 1 and 2, I feel like I can't even hear a difference. Typically with power tools, you will hear a difference. And if this person is watching, I mean, at this point, I own it, right? So I bought it. And the selector, I feel like it's getting stuck in the center. And you hear that grinding noise. So I did notice that initially. So I was kind of skeptical about the fact that it was doing that. Maybe I just got to put a little bit of effort into it. But it just doesn't. It doesn't seem like it's been any faster on 1 or 2. But anyway, he was asking $200. I noticed it hadn't been viewed a lot. This was an eBay purchase, and so I offered $150. I mean, looking these up online, they're like, I want to say, most of them are being sold for like upwards of $250, and between $250, $270, and new, these are like $3-something, like $325. So it's a screw gun. So a lot of people like these triggers, but if you don't have the space for it, I mean, it's not going to make a difference because the handle is a bit long and extended, and I mean, the head is a bit long and extended. So the trigger is the main selling point on these. Forward, wait, I was getting confused. Forward and in reverse. So there's that. So I think I end up walking away with that for like $160 or something. I don't know. Did I need it? No, it was honestly an impulse buy. Just because I bid, and I tend to honor my bids. Again, it didn't come with a battery, by the way. It didn't come with a charger or anything. It was just a tool, bare tool. I hate these batteries. I hate how they yeah, anyway. Someone once told me how to remove it. And then the next thing I picked up was this thing. It just came in today. This was actually a bid. It was like a bid that I caught last minute. And I knew I had one already. Here's one that I bought. And really, I haven't used any of these like products that I've bought recently. And then again, this is the CT761 AG. And this is the same thing. CT761 AG. And again, this is a bare tool, no batteries. It did come with this thing, which I took off. It definitely has some moisture around it. I kind of wiped it out. I'm not a fan of these, of necessarily having boots. You know, we all talk about smaller tools and all this stuff, but then, you know, the boot, however thick it is, takes up a little bit of space. Nonetheless, it protects it from blemishes like this, keep your tools nice, resale value, and just, you know, you can change out the boots and then the gun will always look new for the most part, except the handle. And then for people who are working in more dirtier conditions, like grimy conditions, then I can see that. So it's totally a personal preference with a boot. Like I said, this sounds like it has some power, but it doesn't have a selector switch on it. So whatever you get is what you get. Now, do I feel like this is strong enough to remove? Like, this is strong enough to remove nothing more than a 14mm bolt. That's how I feel about this. And that just depends on the tightness of those bolts up to the 14mm. 8, 10, 12, 14, you might be struggling. And that's just me. I mean, this battery's probably not fully charged, but that's just me feeling the recoil. The light works. Yeah. So another tool added to my collection. Now, you might be stuck on the brand. I have a lot of tools. If you watch my tools, I probably had way more. I mean, you probably see, someone might see this and say, oh, it's green. Well, yeah, I have a green toolbox, and I started getting some green stuff because, you know, that's what people do in YouTube land nowadays. And so I started getting some green stuff, and that's part of the reason I got this in green. And that's the reason why I bid it on this in green, even though I knew I had it. Do I need two of the same? No. I do have the 1/4" version, and I do have something else. So I was gonna say, this is my, I've collected a lot of tools, because I'm a tool collector, supposedly. But anyway, I've collected a lot of tools over time, and we'll talk about the stuff in the room after this. I've collected a lot of tools, and here we go. So I want to say this one came with a boot also, but it seems like it wasn't really utilized that much. But I do have 2 boots. I'm not sure. And it does work. See, I've been collecting Snap-on tools recently. Not Snap-on. Let me just say, I've been collecting Tool Truck branded tools recently because I started collecting just your average tools, your OTC, your Sonics, your Tecton, your Vessel, your Monster, your what's up there, Mueller Caps, your I don't know, Robin Air, you know, all these non-branded tool truck tools that weren't rebranded, like the Lang rethread kit. You know, like I bought what I thought was the original because I don't need to pay the premium price for warranty. So I think. So this was that ratchet that I bought, and I paid $80 for this thing. Was it 80? Yeah, he wanted something in the neighborhood of over 100, and I was like, I don't know if I can fix it, but then I got it fixed. But the magnet in there is no longer good, so I might have to buy a head for it, but it works. Yeah, it works. I have 2 air hammers from Ingersoll Rand, the short and long barrel, but yet I saw this, so it must be the green why I picked this up. See it? There's a trend here. I don't even realize that I'm doing this. This is a bunch of tools that I haven't sorted out and or cleaned up. Like they were bought used, so I kind of want to clean them up. But these are all Tool Truck branded tools that I haven't got to. And quite frankly, I'm still in the organization phase where, well, this video is going longer than I planned. Where I'm trying to organize because I got empty space. You know, this is a recently reorganized brake drawer. So if I want to do anything brakes, I'm gonna come in here so I don't have to search for stuff. You know, like if I want to push some rotors off, you know, I got 2 of these bad boys. Obviously there's some brake hangers. So I'm trying to organize. This stuff takes a while. You spend your life organizing and not actually doing anything. That doesn't help. So I got a lot of tools that I need to organize, and some of these Tool Truck branded tools, like up here, I just need to clean stuff up. Some came missing pieces, and I just want to have the right, you know, get them where they, you know, there are complete sets. But something I was gonna look for in here was See? You know, it's this green thing. Something about this green. Taking all my Benjamins. The green is taking all my Benjamins because this is a 1/4 inch. Maybe I should use these just to try them out on this project. So I wasn't planning on doing all this, but it's like I'm in here already. I mean, even this guy. All right. I need to not buy any more of these things because this is a 3rd one. And that's the problem when you buy. I mean, someone's going to say, wow, look at you wasting money. I sure did without even realizing it. Because this is 3 3/8" ratchets for a DIY or impacts. All the same, right? So I guess I could put a socket like a 10 on one, a 12 on the next, and a 14 on the other, and be efficient, right? So yeah, I wouldn't say I'm in the business of collecting or replacing the tools I currently have, but I've started. I realized that I've bought most of the other type of tools, branded wise tool brands, and so now I'm looking at stuff like this, and the prices are kind of ridiculous at times. But again, I don't buy that many tools. So occasionally I'll splurge. And these tools are going in here because really they're used, and I kind of want to clean them off and, you know, put them where they need to be. So, boots, I'll throw the boots on them. I didn't buy them. I'm not sure that I would necessarily buy boots myself, but we're gonna keep them. I mean, look at all these. Someone make a guess and tell me how many, based on all the Snap-on power tools. I don't want to sound like a Snap-on fanatic here, but how many? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Snap-on tools, and we're gonna have to remove the battery from this. All right. Someone once told me how to do this, but I always bust my fingers. So that's the story. So no more 3/8. I don't care if it's going for dirt cheap. No more 3/8. No more 761 AG. And they do not sell these in 1/2 inch. So we're gonna have to, if we're gonna buy anything else, we're gonna have to find something else to spend our money on. And then my battery drawer. By the way, these came with the rubber things. Again, they do have the magnets. I rather have the magnets, but yeah. Something that I'll show you. So, unfortunately, I had 2 unfortunate events yesterday. Unfortunate, and it's a 3rd world. Unfortunately, it's a 3rd world problem. So in this very garage, in this very position that you saw me pull this thing from right here, I was trying to reach over there to grab that green coolant reservoir, and unfortunately, I stepped on this thing. This is the brake bleeder, the BB, what is this, BB71160. See if I can show you what I did. So I was stepping over because that place is filled, and I stepped on the little plunger that released the pressure in this brake bleeder. So basically what happened is, well, you guessed it, I broke it. So if we take out all these components, this is the inner tube that you fill. So here's that little plunger. And that plunger just sits in here and you're able to pull on it, and it releases the pressure. Well, I broke it. So I went on Snap-on's website, and this is a removable part. If you look in there, you can see the 14mm nut, and there's one for the air inlet on this side. And I haven't been able to find it. So if someone knows and can leave a link to where I can find this replacement part, I will be grateful, because I just need to buy a new one. I tried putting, well, I was gonna try to super glue it, but I didn't have any. I have Q-Bond, and lo and behold, that stuff was all dried up. But this is completely removable. There's a spring in here. There's a spring, and then once you undo that thing, you can completely remove that, and it's replaceable. It's literally just a plunger. And I can't. The moment I stepped on it, and I saw this fall, I knew exactly what had happened. I mean, I don't even need this little piece on the outside. I can just unscrew it, so I throw it in there so I can rattle around. Off note, this was bought used. This was not bought new. It's, again, one of those used purchases, kind of like all the ones that you saw earlier. All right, why are you cross-threading on me? But I also don't have the caps for this, so it's kind of like, it was on my to-do list, my to-buy list. But now I gotta buy more before I can use it. So it was literally in here, and had I just turned the silly light on, I would have probably not stepped on it. But for some reason, I was operating in the dark. Words. So, all right, tools. All right, so what's going on? This is a head of a 2018 Yanmar Longhorn. Basically, your 2018 Yamaha. What do you call it? Viking 6 with a electronic power steering. And this thing has this is a crank no start situation, and here's the culprit in the room. It's been here for probably like a week, and I've been working on it. I have a series of videos. I'm not sure if I'm gonna release them. They're mainly from my knowledge of what I've taken apart and how I've taken it apart and how I'm going to reassemble it. But yeah, I'm going to grab so I had the manual, which I bought online, and I threw it on my Autel. So I have this manual on here that I can click through and figure out how stuff works. It's kind of slow as far as how it loads, but yeah. So this is the cylinder head. I need to get a slide hammer to remove this stuff, and then again, if I release those videos, you'll see the struggle of not knowing how to do stuff and doing it really slow, taking forever. And then there's broken parts, like this clamp right here is broken, doesn't want to unthread. So yeah, these valves look pretty dirty to me. Yeah, we're gonna have to take this apart, because this piece here for the part of the, what do you call it, the compression fell out. So we're gonna have to disassemble it anyway. But we're gonna try to see what's going on in there. We're gonna have to do some measurements and stuff. Yeah, trying to keep organized. And I was on the tool parts, recommended tools to service this thing. And so I'm gonna look up some tools, and I need to order some replacement stuff like gaskets, um, some washers and stuff. Like this washer is no good, it's torn. Some copper washers and stuff, some more rubber gaskets and stuff. But yeah, that's the project in the room. Yeah, just gonna do our research before we start breaking into this, doing measurements and stuff, separating our parts, keeping everything, cleaning up everything. That's part of the whole deal. Getting all this stuff all cleaned up. So it's gonna be a process. It's not gonna be anything fast. And then trying to determine if I'm gonna go any further, if I'm gonna remove this head, and if I can clean it up, or how is this cleaned up. Like I said, I've never done this before. So I'm using paper towels in a lot of places, and that's because I don't have any of those rubber plugs. I just bought some this morning on eBay, so hopefully I'll get them and I can replace these things, because this one is wet, so hopefully I can get that one out. This oil cooler line. But yeah, cranks seems healthy, just doesn't start. Had to pull one of the cooler lines, so that's down there. It looks like it's dripping somewhere down here. Maybe dripping there, I'm not sure. Order some pigment also, so get that stuff cleaned up. But yeah, literally over my head with this thing, because I've never done anything this detail. But it's also a learning process, and I have nothing else but time and tools, and well, I don't have time, but I can use some of my time. These Milwaukees are working out well. Put them up here. And then I got that big one over there. I'm trying to record everything, so like I said, for my own knowledge. But yep, this is what we have working with. I don't think I released a video on this, but if I do, you'll see it. This was pretty dirty, and so I power washed it, but it's still pretty dirty. And you can see all the dirt caked up in there. So I'm gonna have to remove, once I get this portion figured out, remove these panels and all the seats and stuff. It'll be a project. Maybe give it a paint job. But first I want to drive it. And once I get it running, the first objective is to drive it. Well, after getting it running, I need to fix this CV axle right here. It's torn. Anyway, but got a lot of work to do, but that's just some quick tool haul. Yeah, sometimes I use a tool, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just buy tools. Grateful to have this lift. Keep it at a good working height, and then I can also raise and lower it if I need to. The oil is drained, so that was good. In fact, I filled it with oil, changed the oil, and then I realized I had to break into it, so I had to drain the fresh oil, but that's fine. As me always say, like on anything.